Now, 2 months of the 2024 are down. Let's have what we call the financial progress. Remember one thing, when this year started, actually, we embarked on a journey of having what we call, or instilling what we call the financial discipline. Remember that thing? So the point is this, you see, it's always good. And I told you, one of the factors that is supposed to incorporate in your life for you to have what we call the financial success is what we call the financial reviews. What are the financial reviews? Our financial reviews is this aspect of you setting aside a time. You can see this monthly, you can do so quarterly, you can do so after 6 months, or you can do so yearly. But obviously, I don't find it worth you having the financial reviews after 1 year. I mean, after all, a country does so after 1 year. So for yourself, it's good to do so this thing, especially I would say monthly, if you know you're not so good when it comes to the financial, sort of you call management or something of called. So anyway, let's have what we call the 2 months reviews. 2 months reviews is actually asking yourself, okay, fine. I shared like 2 formulas on how you can be able to save. Number 1, I shared on what we call saving a bob a daily, or saving a shilling, or saving, in Kenya we call it a bob daily. And that was ending up to 66,800 Kenyan shillings at the end of the year. I also shared another formula, which was ending up at around 144,000 at the end of the year, meaning that you're saving it actually weekly. So the point is this, hey, I'm making this video on the March of 2nd, 2024. Now the question is this, 2 months are down. The first month, that is the January, is down, February is down, and here we are on the first month, or rather we are the beginning of the 3rd month of this year. Now the question is this, well, I know when the year started, you had some resolutions, and some of them, obviously, on this channel, it was about finances. So what exactly are you doing? Are you, excuse me, are you doing what we call the savings? Or maybe if your target was to sort of go ahead and invest, are you doing so? So the question is this, are you doing something for the sake of your growth and something of sort? Because otherwise, if you're doing nothing, guess what? You see, let me tell you one secret. Have you asked yourself, you wake up at the beginning of the year, you write yourself a very nice, good resolutions and say, I'm going to achieve great things as far as the investments are concerned, as far as the savings are concerned. There you are motivated. The first week you're motivated, the second week the same. By the time you're getting the first month, or rather the first salary of the year, well, you're kind of demotivated. The second month, you're gone. The third month, you cannot even tell where that book you wrote the resolutions are. So the question is this, it's always good to make sure that we're going to do the 2 months reviews. And by the way, if you missed the point, I said this year, by the grace of God, I'm going to be coming here after every 2 months and have what we call the financial reviews. And here we are doing the financial reviews for the last 2 months of the 2024. Now, this is the point. Never forget this. If you want to save, if you want to do something as far as the savings or investments are concerned, and by the way, let me just share with you a quite of a crazy sort of a formula whereby you make sure, let's say you earn 100 bob, okay, 100 shilling in a day. Make sure that at least 75% or 75 Kenyan shillings goes for your day-to-day activities, your catering, your whatever, and then the other 20% goes for your, you can call it savings, you can call it investments, and the 5% actually goes for your what? Goes for your things, we call them like the emergency fund or something of sort. You can apply that formula. You can decide to go ahead and apply this formula, 30, 20%, 50, 20, 30%, whereby half of your salary, you're channeling it towards your normal day-to-day activities. That is funding your recurrent expenditures, your house, your rent, that is your food, your transport, your everything. The 30%, this one you can call it for the entertainment. Entertainment here meaning clothing, blah, 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 and no other things. The black tax, the nice to, the good to have, maybe probably you can say even nice to have and what have you. The last percentage here, this is what we channel towards the savings. And these savings here, I don't want to just dwell on savings. I want to say it's a saving for the purposes of investment. Never forget one thing, we never save just for the sake of saving. We save for the sake of investing that cash in future. So if you're just saving out there, then you are not moving on the right direction. What you're supposed to do is to save on the basis of investments. Okay, now point number 1, you have to save either because of these 3 reasons. Number 1, I'm just echoing what exactly I've been saying. You either save because you want to do something what we call a huge purchase. You want to do a huge purchase. Number 2, you want to save because you want to buy something, or maybe let's say you want to invest. Or number 3, you are saving because of what we call the emergency fund. Either of those 3 reasons, those are the things that should make you save at all the time. Anyway, here we are. We are the 2024 on the 3rd month, that is on the March. So what exactly have you done? Well, if you're following the formula of savings, I would say like we haven't saved like a huge amount of money, but if you didn't even embark on savings, you can actually catch up with those guys who decided to do so. And catching up, you don't need like a huge amount of money. Like if you have yourself like 2 or 3 or 4,000 somewhere, you can set it aside. Guess what? You've already even surpassed those who embarked on saving, on the formula of saving each and every day with its corresponding shillings. For example, and this is where people don't get it right. You see, when I said the 1st January you're supposed to save the first shillings, and the 31st January you're supposed to save the 31st shilling, and the 1st of February you're supposed to save that too, all right? So meaning that you keep on adding that amount of money until we clock the end of this year. And this is the point. Don't think you're late. Don't think like, hey, guess what, Joseph, I didn't manage to actually embark on you guys when you're saving. It is not the best time. It's not. Guess what? You see, if you ride on those excuses, if you ride on the, hey, guess what, the time is moving, no, you can actually decide. Your year doesn't have to start on December to, or rather your January to December. You can start yours from Feb to Feb. Others, by the way, the year of a government starts actually from, you know, June to July. Seriously, so you can actually, some of the people even decide to start their year when they were born. You can even decide to take your birthday as your beginning of the year. The moment you celebrate your birthday, the moment you clock that addition of 1 year, from there you pick a thing that you're gonna invest with it, you're gonna save with it, and back on it, and move towards an investment. And maybe perhaps the first time you're watching me, or maybe you've been watching me and you wonder, fine, Joseph, what exactly can I do? By the way, I had some lost my way on one way or the other. I do not know what exactly I can be able to do right now. By the way, the 2 months have been waste actually. And I know I'm making this video, again, I'll repeat, I'm making this video on the 2nd of March. And I know probably you've already received your salary or you're about to. So then, and obviously you've wasted the last salary. You know, the January one is gone. You've gobbled it down. And then the February one is also gobbled it down. So you don't even know what exactly you can be able to do. Fine, do this, okay? Just don't overstretch yourself. Fine, save that what you know you are comfortable with. That ain't gonna, okay, I don't want to use the term disposable income, because if I say disposable income, that may be a very strange word to you, and you may not have even a disposable income. But I would say this: just love to live, or learn to live below your means, just slightly below your means, so that at least you can create that surplus, and that is exactly what you save. And by the way, here we have three different types of people. We have an individual who earns daily. Okay, and this individual earns daily, and the income is unpredictable. So if your income is unpredictable and you do so daily, you can actually embark on doing what? No matter what I'm earning, I'm gonna make sure that at least I save 20% of it. Let's say maybe, for example, a day you can manage to get your 2K, 2,000. How about you save 20% of this? Okay, and if, by the way, you've realized that maybe say in a typical day you survive on something like 400, that is your recurrent expenditure per day, then meaning that you have a 1,600 which is savable. Obviously, just add some 200 on top of this. Then let's say you have like 600, you are remaining with something like 1,400. At this best day, you can actually decide to save like 200 Kenyan shillings. Let's say the other day comes maybe and you get yourself something like say 800. See, it's short what you got last day. So what you do on this, again, set aside like 600, you remain with like 200. You see what happens when you have a windfall. When I say windfall, I simply mean like when you get like a good chunk of cash here and there, you know, that should cater for those days that we call them the loopholes. Those are the cash that you actually go ahead and say, hey, guess what? Yesterday I saved 1,200. Today I saved 1,200. Tomorrow probably I save nothing. The other day I saved 500. Then it means that if you were to do an average, you're gonna get yourself, you're saving less than an average of like 800 or something of sort. That is an individual who is earning daily, and the income is actually unpredictable. You cannot really tell. You cannot tell, hey, today I'm gonna get the windfall, tomorrow I may not get even nothing, and the other day likewise. So what I would say is this: if maybe so again you earn daily but your income is predictable, again you can dedicate a certain amount of money. Let's say you're employed, and where you're employed you get paid each and every day, and say maybe you get employed like maybe you get paid like 1,000 bob. You can go ahead and try to monitor how much you actually need to spend in a typical day. That's what we call the recurrent expenditure. Recurrent expenditure simply means that income that you cannot shake it off. You cannot shake it off at the income that goes towards food. You cannot shake it off the income that goes towards you know, what we call like transport. transport, because obviously you have to move from one point to the other, one, for the purpose of working and such. And number three, those are things like utilities, the water, you know, and the bills, and maybe the communication. I mean, those are the expenditures that you cannot really shake them off. Okay, now you monitor exactly how much does that require. Say maybe I'm dedicated to earning a constant of 1,000 bob. Maybe let's say that gets like half of my salary, that is 50%. Then you're remaining with the other 50%. The other 50% you can as well incorporate things to do with like entertainment, because obviously you need to entertain. When I say entertainment, I don't mean like throwing parties and such kind of things. I simply mean like maybe buying clothing, maybe doing some you know, support here and there, you know, getting yourself like that a good meal in one way or the other, and then at least you ought to save something little at the end of the day. And I said, even if things are a little bit tough or something, at least part ways with 20%, channel that towards an investment, channel that towards a savings. And maybe you'll be like, okay, fine, Joseph, talk about investments, maybe they require like a huge amount of money. That's not really the case. It doesn't have to be like a humongous chunk of money. You can actually decide to be setting aside something like you know, 100 bob. There's some of the MMFs you can pick it up with 100 bob. There's some of the savings you can decide, hey, guess what? I am not interested with savings or other investments. I'm interested with businesses. Therefore, you can disregard all those things I'm telling you. But instead of having your money lying idle in a bank, or pick an NMF, you can put your money out there. And that's how you stretch yourself. That's how you grow, and that's how you progress. That is exactly how you do, so that at least you can grow and expand yourself. That is the point. All right. Now we go to the other set of people. These are guys who earn weekly. Again, weekly, you can use the same procedure. You go ahead and calculate how much you need to survive in a typical week. You set aside that one, because obviously, you know, you need to sustain yourself for the purpose of living tomorrow and the other day. Now, after calculating that, you can have yourself a weekly target. A weekly, I'll be saving this amount of money, say an X amount of money. This X amount of money, I'll be channeling it towards an investment, or maybe towards a savings. That is exactly how you bring yourself into realization of achieving what we call the financial freedom. Never forget one thing: it's never an event. It has never been. It's always a journey. You have to be a respect of time for you to realize that extremely, that exactly goal. And the last one, these are the guys who maybe probably we are used to. These are guys who earn monthly. The same case applies. I mean, the same formula. Depends on where you get the money. And by the way, you can go check my other videos when I talk about what exactly you're supposed to do during the pay day. All right. And as a parting shot, I would say this: hey, guess what? Check out the reason as to why you didn't do something for the last 2 months. Shake them off. Maybe because of your friends, maybe because of some of the characters that you're having, maybe because maybe you embarked on doing something but you're indisciplined to do so. And I told you guys, you have to actually monitor yourself in 3 ways. Try to do so for the first 21 days. Focus, stretch that one for the first 61 days, and do so for the next 91 days. If you do that, guess what happens? You're gonna achieve the dream, and you're gonna achieve the target. Guess what? That marks the end of my video. But never forget this: I'm always upload a video each and every day. So don't forget to like the video, and so subscribe down below there. There is a small button written subscribe. Pick that tab of mine. You can shoot me a call. Let's have a discussion as far as the investments are concerned for a just cup of coffee's price. Now, for now, it's a goodbye. Never forget. See you the next one, and don't forget to comment as well. See you the next one.